Hey guys, it's Chaz here. We're in video 2 of this GMB optimization guide for on-page. um, we're really, the first part we talked about, we showed you Quora, we showed you a lot of the on-page elements and how we do those. I know I went over that stuff fairly quickly because, again, most guides cover it about the same as I do. It's not a whole lot of secret techniques there that you can use. I mean, just do your best practices, follow, the best advice, even using something like, search quality guidelines, or Google has, their own little SEO guide, and they talk about the exact same things that I went over. Obviously, we went maybe a little bit more in depth on like co-occurrence and keyword prominence, factors like that, which is always a good knowledge to keep in your pocket. Helps you set apart from your competitors that don't know about stuff like that. This next section though is about geo-relevance and how to add it to the web page, right? So obviously we already have in our sample, we have it up in the URL, we have the city and stuff. But sometimes, you really struggle to do this. So not only do you do it in your tags, add a map. Next thing I do, all right, is I add a section underneath the map, and I like to call this more of like my geo-relevant area, and I do it pretty much on most local pages that I optimize. I kind of structure it like this. Underneath my map, I'll actually have a link here. It'll be company name, address, city, state, etc. And if I click on it, it links back to Google Places, to the actual business on Google Places. Right? So I actually link to my Google Places map. And then underneath that, I put my hours, and I just put them, I don't put them in any special format or anything. Googlebot can come on and they can read them. They see this, right? But I always make sure I have my hours. I have a local phone number right here as well. The next part, all right, so that's our address section. I link back to the Google Places map. I put hours and phone number. Is what I like to call city, county, region. And it's basically a geo-relevant paragraph about the location. And it doesn't need to be super big or super long. I just make a paragraph about it. And you can see here's my paragraph. I just talk about the location. I talk a little bit about the city. I talk about the county it's in, the region, kind of where it's at. The next thing I do is I do written driving directions. All right. So I add 2 to 4 written driving directions. And when possible, I include an airport code if practical. Right, so here's directions, and to get directions, what I do is you can go to, if you go right to your Google Places map and get directions, and you say, well, where am I going to go? Well, for this, I want to use an airport, so the closest place to me that has an airport is Harrisburg, so I would just put in right here. Then pick one, and then literally just write this out, right? Write it out. Just sit down, write it. It's very quick. Mine's not written super well, but I just sat there and I wrote it out. It's a couple sentences. Takes you from Harrisburg International Airport to Make My Business Boom Hanover, PA. Tells them how to get there. The next one is I do another directions. And this one I just chose a city that's close to us, and I wrote directions from there. So you can see, so that's my written driving directions. Local outbound links, another thing that I like to add. And I actually included those in our paragraph here. So I just included these. So I talked about my location, my region, where I'm located at. This is actually a place on Google Maps. And I link right to there. And then and how do I find what places to include for my local links? I just go to Google, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. Things to do in your city. Click on it. It's going to tell you the first couple things to do, and that's where I get you can see I got right here. The center square one, I actually picked that up from a search. So if you just do a search for Hanover, PA, it comes up. So I was there typing maybe something Codorus. I don't know. I'd have to. There we go. If you type in the city, I'm not sure how I found it. Somehow I found it though. It came up in one of my searches I did. Maybe it is on this list. Oh, here it is. It's just down here further on this list. That's all. So I just picked 2 off the list, link out to those to Google Maps. And what this does, I know it seems like a lot of outbound links. When it comes to GMB ranking, it doesn't, it's not so much about page rank or juice. So we're not going to sit here and try to, just follow these links and try to do like link sculpting. It's not really any net need for it. You can have outbound links. You can have multiple ones. What it does, it definitely links your page to these local places though, right? When Google crawls this, there's not going to be any doubt in Google's mind that you're a locally relevant business for this location. And that's really what we're doing for that. And the reason we do that, I'll actually show you this real quick, is if you go to like SEO by the Sea, and I know the guy's just a lawyer, but he is good at reading and analyzing Google patents. You get a lot of knowledge out of them. I like this one here, assignment of geographic location identifiers. So Google actually there's some patents out there that talk about this stuff. And some of the location identifiers include things like postal address, telephone number, area code, airport codes, landmark identifiers, longitude and latitude, which we'll get to in a second, hyperlinks between pages. Now this says without geoinfo, but they can basically, they're moving geoinfo from a page that has none to one that links to a geographically relevant part, and it passes geo-relevance. So hyperlinks can pass geo information through them. So that's why I have these outbound links, because, right, we're linking to something that's geographically relevant to our location. Let's keep moving on. I don't have any live example of this, just because, like I said, this is an old site. It's not an active site. So I don't really have any authority directories for Make My Business Boom. But if I did, I would add a couple links on there to it. And what I would consider would be authority directory would be something like Better Business Bureau, Chamber of Commerce, Best of the Web, a GPS data team, a profile there. If you were a lawyer, obviously your AVO or FindLaw. For doctors, it would be something like Health Grades. Those are authority directories. And if I had those, I would add a link to, not all of them, just a few, the better, maybe 1 or 2 of the better ones. And I'd probably add it somewhere down here, like a trust section. All right, we have some review links here, but we don't really have the authority directories. I'd add them here if I had them. I'd have like a Better Business Bureau badge and maybe best of the web badge or whatever, and I'd link to our profiles there. I don't have it, so I can't show you, but I would definitely do it if I had it. And it's very important too. All right. These authority directories are definitely important to link to. The next thing is reviews. Add links to your review sites, whether you have a TripAdvisor, whatever you have. For us, we don't really have much. We have a Facebook and we have a Google, so I just linked to Facebook and Google using images. See the hyperlink down there. There's Facebook, there's Google. Now Google, let me click on that just to show you. I have it linking right to where it'll send you it takes you right to the review section if you're logged in. So there's I definitely one I like, definitely include these. No matter what, try to include some review links. If you ever go through the 3-pack and just look at how many of the top sites have links to the review sites. I know, correlation doesn't always equal causation, but the majority of the top sites have them. I like to have them as well, right? Just makes sense. Next thing I do is some interlinking. I'll show you a live example of interlinking. So I have some links back to our location page. Let me just show you one here. So and when I do my interlinking, I put it, it's not formatted perfectly. I did it fast. But I put it in context and I use exact match, right? So I use an exact match link as long as it's an interlink, and I either an inner page or a blog post. This is how I do it. Link it right back to your location page like that. So we have some interlinks going on. I don't have any of these right now. Supporting geo pages, I don't think I really need them. If you were in like a hyper competitive environment, or maybe a big city where, multiple snack packs are coming up and you're really trying to get to optimize on like a neighborhood level, I'd probably add some supporting geo pages and then just link back to our target pages, again using exact match. When I say exact match, you can vary it. You can vary it up a little. You don't have to use, like, you can put like SEO agency in near, or switch the terms up, but you definitely want to make it very, very close to being exact match. And then I would make sure when I do my supporting geo pages, I just don't put your keyword plus location in that page other than your exact match link. Because what you can do with these supporting geo pages is you can push links to them and you can use them as funnels to funnel link juice back to your location page. And you just don't want to fall afoul of cannibalization. So if you have these pages with your keyword location, so if I had like 5 SEO tips, Hanover, PA or something, right? I have SEO Hanover, PA. If I have that on the page other than my exact match link, and I start hitting this page with links, like there's a chance this page could outrank or cannibalize my local page, right? So that's why I'm very careful about what I title pages as, and how I use my keywords on that. Hopefully that makes sense. I wish I had an example of it. I just didn't feel like sitting and writing a geo page. The next thing is a Google Plus badge. I used to do it all the time. I added it here just because, you can put it, but I don't think it's necessary anymore just because Google Plus and GMB's not attached. You can see I have one here in the widget. If you want to put it, it's very easy. Just follow this link, and it's very easy to create one, and you just put it in as a JavaScript. not super important. The next thing is kind of an old school thing that I like to do, is an HTML sitemap. Now, I also do all my other sitemaps. Don't get that wrong. I do all those. I do XML. I also do a GeoSitemap, which I'll talk to you about in a second. I like to do a HTML sitemap. And I'll show you what that looks like. So it's actually an HTML file. I actually use a program called, let me find what it's called. It's called A1 Sitemap Generator. It's loading. It's pretty cool. Makes it easy to generate these sitemaps. I'm not going to go into any detail. You can figure out how to use it if you want to do it. But what our HTML sitemap looks like is this. It's basically a link of all of our, not all of our pages. There's actually other pages that aren't linked. I removed a bunch of just, the things I don't want them to see. This is just the top level and most important ones. But then what I do is I go in and, as I'm optimizing these pages, I actually go in and I change these to make sure I have my keyword in the anchor text. So you can see we get our keyword right here, and we're using, it's two keywords in one, but it's pretty much exact match, right? It's SEO Hanover, PA, web design Hanover, PA. And again, what I can do, I can push links to the sitemap if I want, right? If that makes sense. A lot of this stuff is about buffering. About not only is it buffering, but it's also the words and phrases that are inside your anchor text. They play important part, and that's more so with GMB stuff. Pushing the links, that's if we're going to make a push organically too, because organic a lot of times does go with GMB. But just some more advanced tricks and tactics you can use. Let's go back here. So talked about the HTML sitemap. The next thing I do on page for local is I'll use Yoast local SEO plugin. You don't have to. It is a paid plugin. There's a little bit of a learning curve to it. I like it because of the couple things you can do with it. Couple things I'm going to show you today is it automatically generates JSON LD for you and puts it in when you use your short codes. I also set up location pages. So when you use Yoast, if you have multi-location, you actually go in and set up Yoast location pages. And then what I like to do with those is I like to 301 them to my actual location pages. If it's a single location, you don't do that, obviously, because it'll you can set it up as the home page. But when you're talking multi-locations, I always 301 them back to the actual location pages. And again, that 301 redirect, again, it adds geo-relevancy because it's like similar to a link, right? So it's a link from a location page to another location page. So you get that geo-relevancy going through there that I showed you in some of the patents it talks about. But if you're doing anything with organic, you can also use it to push links and to buffer links that way as well. If you set up Yoast, you'll have to figure out Google API keys to use the map portion of it. It allows you to insert maps, store finders, and then the business information as well. And then the other thing that I really like is it submits a GeoSitemap, which is your KML file, to Google Search Console. So let's go look at some of that. So this is the Yoast, the store part of it. Let me go into my page. And you can see Yoast gives you the option to add a map, add the address, add store hour, opening hours, add a locator. If you add the map, unfortunately, I can't get it to add on this theme. I'm using like a really weird theme here. The site's designed a lot of parts of it's hard code and stuff. So some of the stuff short codes don't always work. The address section I did get to work though. And that's this section here. And it automatically adds JSON LD to your page when you do that. And you can do it page by page, which is very nice, right? You can also add a store locator. I'll just show you. Let's take a look at the JSON LD here that it puts on. And here we go. So this is the part it adds here. It adds a JSON LD right here. Very, very nice JSON script. So it automatically inserts that. And again, you don't have to use it. I like to use it just because there's so much you can do with it. I like adding the geo sitemap, the KML files. I like the JSONs automatically done for you. The store locator is cool when you get it to work, and the map thing is pretty cool too. Might not always work with all themes, depends on your theme. If you're not using Yoast, you definitely want to add JSON LD. You can create, validate, and paste JSON LD on your page. We have a good generator. I'll show you at Web 20. It's pretty cool because it'll pull the info right from Google Maps, as long as you have an address that's visible. Otherwise, you just use the other. But if you have verified GMB with a visible address, just click here. Makes it super easy. Just put the business name, and you can see it pulls it. Right now, you have to add some stuff here, but let me just, without adding anything else, let me just submit, and you'll see the schema. Oops, yeah. All right, so it's going to make me put something there. Give me a second. I want to show you this because it's really cool. Oops, wrong one. Logo. I'll just use the same one. Let me see if it lets us submit now. Yeah, so it makes you put something there. This is optional. You can put your same as info here, your business description. If you have a Wikipedia page, contact email, contact us page. You can change all your schema stuffs in here if you want to change it. But just by putting this, it automatically pulls all your other info. It pulls your coordinates. It pulls your address. It pulls a short description. Cash, credit card. It pulls your stuff right from your GMB listing. Your Google Maps, all that stuff gets pulled in. So that's really cool. And then you can just test your schema right here. It opens up a new tab. You can just copy and paste it over there. So very easy to just make your own JSON. And then what I do is I use this plugin called Sogo. It allows us to put it page by page. And here's an example JSON I made if you ever want to make one and test it or take a look at what ours looks like. But that's basically our on-page step-by-step guide that we're using. And you can see what it looks like when it's all done. All the different elements that we add to a page and all the local relevancy that we're adding to it as well. So hopefully that's a decent little training. Hopefully I answered a lot of the questions that might have, a lot of people might have, especially about the local relevancy stuff. This stuff works. If you have any questions, contact us at gmb@web20ranker.com, or you can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. Thanks for watching.